Hello and welcome along to the MMCS Season 5 finale. It is time for Homestead. Homestead is going to provide one of the best finales this series has seen, and we've had 4 different seasons, 3 different champions, and now it's time to crown what is going to be a 5th different champion, NASCAR type of style format with the Final 4. And no surprise there with that. Just got qualifying underway. We'll speak about things in just a moment with this event. Either way, I want to welcome you all here. You may either be watching this live or you may be watching it back, whatever the case may be. But the fact of the matter is I'm your commentator. I'm Ryan Searles. Also, you can see on Twitch, Red Raider 1131. Yeah. Lots to look forward to tonight. We've got a championship to be decided, making up from 2 different manufacturers, 2 for Ford, 2 for Toyota, and an oval that has 100 laps consisting tonight's event, and it's going to be one that we look forward to for sure. And it should put me as a spectator, I think, now, and I think it will. Yes, it will. Alright, well, I would like to thank Ian and Bones for helping me out with this, because I have had no clue with Forza for the longest time. I've not done anything Forza-like in probably 5 years, so it's been a while, so bear with me please. But with that being said, yeah, 100 laps around the circuit tonight. Let's get you covered with who the Final 4 is. We have Mr. Ian and Bones in the number 6 RFK Ford. We've got, I'm going to ask Bones how to pronounce this just to be sure. Name looks like maybe with the way it is. Maybe Racing. Let me just ask him quickly. And he is a part of the 3 car. He is also for Ford. You have... Oh, wants me to press spectate again. I pressed spectate already. There we go. Oops. We'll figure this out. He's also a Ford. He's the 3 car for this season that we've had under our belt. You have Middle Gamer as well. He is the 18 Toyota, and Garrett, who is also known as Mythic Noob, the 71 Toyota. So those are your Final 4 contenders. Previous champions include Season 1 and 2, Mafia. He's won some big events like the Daytona 500, like the All-Star Race, and he barely missed the Final 4. If you want someone who's going to end up, I would say, winning a big race like tonight, then there you go. There's someone you're going to be looking forward to. But he missed the Final 4. He's not in it. Season 3 champion was Jackson. He's inactive now. And Season 4 champion last season was Dominic. He finished 2nd on track in that race and barely missed the Final 4. So if you're looking for something to kind of give you a little bit of foreshadowing for this race tonight, 2nd on track. You don't have to win the race, but you have to be the highest of the championship 4 contenders. And he was the highest of those championship 4 contenders last season. And guess what? He won the championship. So in just a moment, we're going to be telling you about the championship 4 contenders, a little bit about them with what you should know and whatnot. But Mr. Ian and Bones, who seems really good at this circuit, you know, it feels like it's no surprise when you go back to the NASCAR days, all the way back then with him. He was very good on these type of ovals, and he is once again, because he's on pole, he was fastest for qualifying, and he ended up helping himself out of the championship contenders, highest of them all. He has had 4 consecutive podium finishes in the last 4 Homestead races. He's won 2 of them, and in those 2 that he won, he led the most laps in those ones. Ain't that interesting? Maybe that might be what it needs to win the championship tonight, but with the way the Final 4 always goes, you just never know. Let's give you just a quick rundown of our Final 4 contenders here, folks, because it's a pace lap, I believe, and then we get going. There is choose cone like usual in racing leagues. Should clarify that. I shouldn't say like usual, but you get the point. They'll line up in their qualifying order and get things going. But thing I was going to say about these Championship 4 contenders. Let's tell you about them. Mr. Ian Bones. This season he's had 1 win, 6 podiums, 1 pole, 132 points. And like I said, he won Homestead previously 2 times, once in the regular season. And yeah, 2 wins this track, 4 consecutive podiums. So someone who's going to be a favorite tonight. Another driver who's also a favorite is Maybe in the 3 car. 7 wins, breaking a record for that in a single season. 11 podiums, 6 poles, won 4 of the last 6 races, 1 Indy Oval, and he's dominated the season. And our other 2 contenders, 2 wins they both have apiece. 10 podiums though for Nitto, and Garrett has 8 podiums. A lot of disconnection, so he would love to have this championship, but the green flag is about to get underway and the championship is about to be decided. Buggity, 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 we are underway here in Homestead for a championship to be decided. 4 drivers, 1 champion. And already Mr. Ian Bones in our 100-lap dash at Homestead. Keeping the lead, and restarts tonight are gonna be electrifying. The draft heading into turn 3 and even into turn 1 is something we're gonna watch out too for. You wanna know why? Because when you follow one of these other cars in front of you, you're gonna get sidetracked, whether it's due to your own fault or due to the game's physics. You try to follow that draft heading into turn 1 and turn 3, you gotta be careful with the way it goes. Dirty air is a big factor, and Bones up the racetrack. Here is the 3 car taking advantage on the inside line. If we can get a good angle of this, we can see the 3 car. How low is he gonna go? 18 is there as well. It's another championship contender. But it's side by side for the race lead. Bones just trailing behind. It's going to be the 3 car who leads lap number 2 of this race. Or at least green flag lap number 2. And on to lap number 3 of 100. Long way to go. Like I said, restarts are going to be electrifying. They fan out of restarts. Not the usual attendance this league is used to, but now we're on Bones' cam, but you see he's falling behind the 18 car, and we're going to go on board with the 18 now if we have a chance to do so. Because we're going to see how this dirty air really affects him in trying to catch the race leader, the 3 car. Which he leads yet another lap. He leads lap number 3. How fitting for him. And he needs to do so for the championship. And I think from a bit of bump draft, you can see that 18 car, unless it's a glitch in the game, a little bit of damage on that front nose. But here he comes. Look at that draft. Look at how effective it is. And he just pulled a little bit of a dummy move where he said, I'm going to go to the outside. Nope, I'm going to the inside. And he's going to take the race lead. Oh, little collision. And now, crash up in the air. The 18 car goes, and that's a 3 car crash. And 3 cars are needed to cause a caution. And I think that may be a caution. We'll find out here in just a moment. And it is a caution. It is a caution. The 18 car and 3 car connected wheels right there. Went straight up in the outside wall. And there was someone else who was trying to take evasive action. Got collected. And that's our first caution of tonight. Like I said, restart's going to be electrifying a lot. That's going to be the big thing around here. Well, now we're just learning about it. We're just learning exactly why that will be the case. It'll be proven right or proven wrong. And no proper pit stops, but drivers on the backstretch doing the choose cone. We're going to find out what lane they choose to go in and what lane they prefer. That'll be a big factor in tonight's race. You don't want to be behind somebody who you get frustrated with or who you feel is slow. So, restart's going to get underway soon here. Going to go to our race leader, Dominic, who is last season's champion. Second on track, barely missed the final 4. Well, he's got a chance to prove himself tonight. Green flag back in the air. And look at this restart already. Look at those 3 cars in the inside line. Just trying to find their way to protect from the others and not have anything happen. Draft's going to be a big thing as they head into turn number 3. Bones with the race lead. And right now with that, the championship lead. Oh, car off in the back. Car off, going a little wide. It's a crash in the background, I think. It's 1 car, though. And I don't think it's going to be a caution at all, but the one involved is Maybe, and that's the 2nd time he's had a crash involving him. So, I don't know if this one was self-inflicted or not, or due to contact. likely due to contact considering how close the cars were, but that is not the way he would have wanted to start the championship, and considering the way he's gone this season, 7 wins, 11 podiums, the most of anybody, and 6 poles, well, not the best of ways you would have wanted to start it for the championship finale, less than 10 laps in. And if he doesn't get a caution anytime soon here, he's going to be riding alone at the very back of this field. And we're going to see if we can change camera angles in just a moment, but I'm on board with Dominic here from the outside point of view in the 4 Sunny D car. We're going to see what line he takes in comparison to Bones. Mythic Noob, which is Garrett. He's 3rd place, 2nd in the championship. And Dominic running where he did last season to win the championship. So, like I said, that's all you need to do. Run right behind and have a chance to win it. By the way, just to give context, I was going to give this prior when we were on the pace laps. I was going to say how maybe and Ian have been the 2 best on ovals this year. Ian proved that by the Homestead success he's had. Maybe he's proved that by, in fact, winning for the last 6 races. I mean, that's just overall. That's not even ovals, but the one that he did win, that is an oval that proves that he's good at ovals, is Indy. And he's been dominant this season, so he deserves the championship the most based on the stats. But right now, he's not doing anything to help himself, and probably no fault through his own. I'm gonna try to switch some angles here in just a moment, but everybody is single file and happy with the way that they are, probably, or just simply trying to figure it out. Let's see if we can go in a different camera angle. Got some information on Dom's popping up. I don't understand why it does that. Maybe it's because of me switching off, but that makes sense. Either way, 10 laps into this event and a long way to go. It's not easy for these drivers to stay calm and collected when you are sitting here fighting for a championship, but it's worked out for Mafia. He's won big events, Daytona 500. And All-Star Race just recently this season. Like I said, barely missed the Final 4. Same can be said about Dominic, but you know what? I was speaking about Garrett earlier as well, who, you know, has been dominant this season, or not dominant this season, sorry, who has had a lot of disconnections. I spoke about that prior to the race, and I was going to say about him how, you know, he came from nearly 2 races behind to get to this point in the Final 4. And those disconnections that he's had, lots of them in fact, costed him many race wins. You see, he only has 2 race wins and 8 podiums. He's someone who, if you think about him winning this championship, you think about it as a feel-good story. Green Bay Pickers, 6th place, not in the Final 4, all-time win leader in this league. He's falling behind the pack as well. 5th place is as well. That is no losses, also referred to as Mafia. I'm going to move up close to my TV in just a moment to get a better angle for you guys of changing the camera angles. But battle for 3rd place right now on track. Most of the action has been quite quiet, like we were speaking about. But 3rd place up for grabs. Ditto and Mythic Noob, who are the 2 championship contenders. 2nd in the championship right now, trying to steal something away from Bones, or find some speed to catch Bones. Let's see Dominic in the draft of him trying to catch up. I mean, look at 3rd and 4th and 1st and 2nd. They're separated by a similar amount, and with how spread out this field is right now, I mean, you look 5th and 6th, you look even 6th to 7th, 4th to 5th, 1st to 3rd. Gonna need two more cars to get a caution, but being about half a lap behind for the 3 car of maybe who's dominated this season, it is not what you need at all. 15 laps complete in this race, and we're not even 4th of the way in, and this field is so sprung out right now to the point where you want a caution. But if you're Bones, you want this thing to keep going the way it is, and be happy with where you're at. Gap for the race lead is closing once again, just slightly. You gain it, like I said earlier, you gain a lot of draft into turn 3 or even turn 1. And it's so easy to lose it because of that dirty air. And just about to get to lap 20, which will get us a fifth of the way into this race. And I think with this field being sprung out the way it is right now, you're trying to figure out, what do I have in my car? I feel like these drivers know you may get a caution later on. This is probably your good green flag run for now until you make an error. But in the meantime, you're figuring out, like I said, what you have with your car. You know, these are the 2017 cars, so you want to go back to think of, okay, how was 2017 in terms of the NASCAR finale? What helped back then with these kind of cars that Forza has put in the game, and it's been in for 6-7 years now. Well, back then, dirty air was a big thing in 2017. That's why a lot of the races weren't so good back then. But also, Kyle Larson line, if you remember this race in 2017, which decided a championship. I think it was the third to last time that Homestead was a championship finale. And the thing I remember most about that race is Kyle Larson, non-championship contender, using that high line late in the race. And that's exactly what Dominic's trying to do right now, to try to find a way past Bones. He's got to do that in order to get by Bones, or else he has no chance at challenging the race lead. And we've got a 3-car battle up front now, which is different than the way it was before. I want this stuff off my screen. Right there. I'll get it off in a moment. With that being said, 20 laps in now, like I was talking about, and top 3 are much more closer. That gap is closing. And let's find out. Let's find out what they know about their car different than they did at the very start of this race. Bones is faster on the circuit we spoke about. He's won here twice, 4 consecutive podiums. I mean, he should be one of the favorites. But we're going to find out how true that will be very soon here. Here's the battle for the race lead. Dominic was gaining. Is he still gaining? Yes, he is. He had a peak right there down the inside, but he's not gonna go for our race lead right here on lap number 23. Now underway. Let me move up closer to my TV so I can start changing camera angle on you guys. Being so far back, I thought, maybe my awareness would be good and better. But we don't need that because it's only a 7-car race for tonight, which is, like some of the drivers were talking about prior, less than they're used to. But it's at least good to see your most committed members here for a championship. Therefore, no one ruins it. Dominic into the wall, and that's going to affect his momentum, trying to catch Bones. And speaking about momentum, no one knows had the most momentum of anyone in the recent weeks. I mean, 4 of the last 6 races has gone to maybe. But right now, it's a Final 4 race. That momentum was thrown right out the damn drain. Dominic's still trying to catch, and we'll find out what he can do here. About to get quarter of the way in to this event. Let's find out what he can do with it. Try to change camera angle for you guys. Cameras, there we go. That's perfect. There we go, let's take that out of the way. Let's ride on board. Beyond's boards are much more representative of what we're going to see. You can just see what the slipstream, or as we call it, in NASCAR drafts, will do for these drivers. Is it going to be something that's effective for Dom to try to at least throw it on Bones' left rear? If he can find a way to put it on his left rear, or even right rear, that would be great to see a battle for the race lead, but I don't think he's going to give it up. Oh, he gives him a little bump. Is this going to make a difference? Bones into the wall, Dominic tapping the wall, and further on behind, there's nobody there to capitalize. So like I said about the right rear tire. He's going to try to put it on it. Bones lets him go, and Bones realizing, Dominic, you won this race last season being second place. Ow, that's all I could do. I could sit here and be second place and win the championship, and yep, Dominic, the race leader. Third place right there. In the background, you can find on our onboard, nope, not on onboard, on our rear view mirror of Nitto, just, I guess, going to the left side, trying to avoid the draft being so effective into turn 1, but it was turn 3 at the time, I think, back then, but really, it doesn't matter with him being that far back. It's not going to affect him because, like I said prior, he's just so far back, like I said, and everyone sprung out except for the top 2, but Bones has got to stay with him because if he doesn't, this opens the door for Nitto, and this will be lap 30 in just a moment. This championship finale has only had 1 caution, and it's going by very, very quickly. And that's something that maybe he's not hoping for. He's hoping for more things to go better and go his way, and maybe getting a caution, but that's not going to happen anytime soon. Best lap from Dominic so far, 30.3. 30.5 is the leader's last lap, and that is him, so he is going really fast around here. And to no surprise, this is exactly where he won the championship the last time. Lap 30, go underway. And here comes Bones. Bones, the championship leader right now. Having a look down the inside into turn number 3. Hanging on the quarter panel! There's contact, but they gotta be careful, the race leaders, because this is going to invite Nitto right there, and that is the guy second in the championship, third on track, and this is the thing that Bones would be fearing. Do not battle this out for the race lead, you two, if you're going to have a battle here, because if you're Bones, you're going to be sweating a little bit seeing that he's closed the gap. If you look from the start of this race, Dominic's gained 3 spots from where he qualified. Big loser? Maybe, because he qualified 3rd. Like I said, pretty good around ovals, right? Well, doesn't matter if you get crashed and there's, you need 3 cars for a caution. Doesn't matter if you're not getting the cautions that you need or you're involved in what would cause a caution. But side by side once again for the race lead. Dominic on the inside line, Bones in that preferred outside line. Dominic trying to tuck back in, but Nitto's right there in the background, and he's going to have a peek down the inside there, making contact, and Nitto is trying to get his way through and try to take second place on track rather than just second place in the championship. Keeping it side by side here once again. And Dominic up the track. Nitto's going to try the slide job. I think he's pulled it off. And let's go switch to him to make sure 100%. Second place is now his for sure, and he can definitively keep it. But now, Bones has got to be sweating because Dominic fell from 1st to 3rd, and those battles between them were a little treacherous because it lost Bones 0.3. You could see the difference on the top of the screen just a moment ago, 30.7 to a 30.4, and even in that draft. See how close Nitto is right there? Not even that close, but he's still having a lift because of it. It is hurting him a lot. And that battling to slow him down to where it caught Nitto up. Second place now. But, we've had comers and goers, and Dominic's one that's been good on the short run thus far, and not really as good in the long run. And you can see that because he's dropped further behind. He's 3rd place now, and whereas 18 car of Nitto is not having it go perfect, but it's been better for him. 2 wins, like I said, 10 podiums, super consistent with that wins. Earlier in the season, when he won those 2 races, when he won the first, when he broke a 27 race drought, and honestly, you don't have to win tonight if you're Nitto. You don't. You just have to be the highest of the championship competitors. And, if Dominic were to retake the race lead in a little bit, and Nitto were to be 2nd and Bones were to be 3rd, that's all he needs. He doesn't even need a win. He's been Mr. Consistent this season, but what does that matter, right? It's all gloves off when it comes to championship. You know, Hemrick won a championship in the NASCAR Xfinity Series by winning at the right time. He won his first career race then, so, you know, this is exactly what Nitto could have done if he didn't win races prior in the season. He could have ended up winning for the first time in the season at the championship race by breaking the drought then. And we're getting much closer to 2/5 of the way done. But let's find out. We've got Nitto closing in on the race lead. The 18 car find a way to pull it off. 4th and 5th. Further on back, that is Green Bay Pickers, your all-time wins leader, who, like I said, dominated tons of seasons prior. And championship contender Mythic battling it out. Oh, hold on. Race lead. There's a bump. Bones just got the chrome horn, and side by side to the line between the two championship contenders. It is dead even drag race for that lap. It was Bones who led that one, and he's doing what he did in those 2 other times he won here, leading the most laps thus far. But right now, not going to matter. Nitto pulls off the slide job, got the move done, and is through into the race lead. This little leaf says, hey, it's okay. You know, thank you for racing me clean. That's all you ask for in a championship race with your competitors. Race each other clean. And this has been a 35 green flag lap run, which is now so sprung out between our competitors. Everyone's close within certain areas, but we had a caution at some point. It would probably come from these top 3, but Dominic losing time. Bones still right there in contention. Nitto's car is coming to him in the long run. Seems to be going his way. And this is a good thing for him. For the guy who's been very consistent in terms of his top 3 finishes. 11 is the most from maybe, whereas Nitto's had 10 of them, just 1 less. And right now, might be 11 to 11 when you compare their stats at the end of the season. This one going to matter the most. And if you look at the way he got into the championship finale, he had such a sizable gap to get in, and so did maybe. You know, with the most consistent 2 drivers, this is the guy who, without winning, has deserved it the most. In terms of raw speed and proper results, Maybe's deserved it the most. In terms of Homestead history, Bones has deserved it the most. In terms of a feel-good story and bad luck, Garrett would deserve it the most. So all 4 championship contenders are guys tonight who I think are all worthy and deserving champions of this league in Season 5. But last lap right there was, I think, 30.7. We're going to see it once again, I think, on our screen in just a moment. We spoke about the 2 and 6 and 7 being just about half a lap behind, but because the race lead changed a little bit, they're not as far behind as they once were. They still are quite a ways way back, but they're not too far back compared to what they were. You're going to see them cross the line right here, and they would have been on the other end of the track, directly across, but now you can see 6th and 7th place is a little bit different in terms of their gaps. And obviously now, maybe he's no longer 7th, he's 6th. We didn't get to see that pass made between Mafia and him, but it doesn't really matter because I think Mafia let him go and said, go ahead, you know. M2 waiting on a caution. 30.3 from the race leader that last lap. We're going to see what this looks like this time. We're going to see what its draft is like into turn 1 from this point of view and just look from behind, because we got nothing really out front from our race leader right now of 18 car. Oh, it's weird seeing Carvana on a Toyota up until last year, but you know, I'm a little used to it. Check out all these camera angles. So I've not done this game in quite a bit. But we go right on board with the all-time wins leader for a second and see what his race is like, because there's nothing going on right now between 1st and 2nd that's vital enough. Very patriotic paint scheme. I really like this. all-time wins leader. Let's just see how he takes turn 3. I want to see this for a second in terms of our all-time wins leader. A very high entrance, low to the bottom, and then high on corner exit. Quite how you think you'd get. I'm not surprised by that, by the way. But yeah, 11, 13 seconds back from the race leader is those two cars at the very back of Mafia and Maybe. We're going to go back to the race lead while we're talking about it because they are close once again. Not super close, but within striking distance. And Bones can have a move down the inside if he wanted to, but he's not going to take advantage of that. But he will take advantage. Naito hitting the wall, and Bones going to close up to the back of him, almost at the halfway point now. And Bones is right there to pounce. Now, because of that dirty air, you want to find a different line compared to your competitor. 30.6 from the race leader his last lap. Fastest lap this race been a 30.35. Should not be surprising for the circuit at all. I keep saying circuit. I apologize to those of you at this halfway point listening in are going to watch this back because I am used to commentating F1. I'm sorry. I'm picking my words differently, or at least trying to tonight. But yeah, I'm very used to commentating on my F1 leagues that I, have been a part of. Oh, race leader Naito in the wall. It's not the first time, but we're now halfway. Championship 4 is Naito in first, second Bones, third is 5th place runner Garrett, and Maybe, who's dominated the season in P6. And as we are halfway, we want to remind you, if there is a caution later on, here's things you got to consider. Choose cone, obviously, because the lines you want to take, which is basically the difference to green flag racing with low line versus high line, which you can see the different lines Bones and Naito are using right now. I say be in the correct line when you choose cone, because that goes with restarts anyway, because the fact that you don't want to be behind someone if they spin their wheels, or you don't want to be behind them when you're frustrated with them or frustrated with the way they're racing. But everyone's been calm this race, so no frustrated drivers as far as I could assume. I say avoid wrecks and stack-ups. Well, that comes with restarts, but just avoid wrecks or stack-ups anyway, because that's the thing that's costed 6th place runner Maybe, and the reason why that he's back there. I mean, he's gaining time running by himself, and he's pulled away from Mafia by quite a margin. And his strong raw pace, let alone if there's no caution, could be very interesting here if these race leaders battle. I say make passes quick because track position is key, with the dirty air having a big factor. Bones told me dirty air is very real. Well, I hate to say it, but I'm glad I know that because of him, because I would not know that it would be this much of a factor having the draft into turn 1 and turn 3 when following other cars. And that's why I say make passes quick. You don't want to be caught in the dirty air, even if it's just a short restart. Maybe what you need. You need the track position. I said restarts are chaotic, but the one thing I'm going to mention, I'm going to talk about this track in particular in terms of its history. No crumbling under pressure. I said restarts are chaotic. Well, look at the 2016 NASCAR Championship with Carl Edwards. He lost the championship off of a restart. Eric Jones in the Xfinity Series lost a championship off of a restart. And I say don't crumble under the pressure because Denny Hamlin lost a chance at going to the Final Four because of a tire blown at the circuit, let alone crumbling under the pressure. You don't want to crumble under the pressure. And Naito was hitting the wall twice when we were speaking about him earlier. And he's made it just only a 2-car race between him and Bones, but that's the one thing that he cannot do when it comes to lap 99 out of 100 or lap 100 out of 100. Or even before then, doesn't matter. And again, he's hit the wall. Whoa. This is not what's going to be needed to win the championship. And around the outside, Bones having a look. Let's go on board with our two front runners. Oh, Bones gave him a bump. Bones gave him a bump. Contact, contact. And Naito's in the wall. Whoa. That was a bump and run and maybe a bump and dump there because your two championship front runners have just clashed. And for the race lead and the championship lead at that, further on back for third and fourth place is Green Bay Pickers picking off Dominic for third place, but both of them not in the championship, whereas the 18 car of Nitto is. And we're going to see what Bones feels later on when it comes to the closing stages of this race. Will there be payback? I'm not saying Nitto has to wreck him. I'm saying Nitto may give him the bump. He may return the favor. And that may be what happens because that's what Bones did. Bones gave him a bump. I don't know if he got too hot into the corner or it felt like Nitto was slow to the corner to his liking. But crash. There's a crash. And I think it's a caution because the 18 car was counted as a caution. Caution is for Green Bay Pickers. Or at least the one who spun there. And the Lamar 2024 car is being scraped up. Lovely 360 there, or at least attempt at it with not hitting anybody. So it caused the caution, second caution of tonight. Gonna get our order fixed, but yeah, Bones. I think this is the choose cone now. We're gonna decide what lane they want to go in. Bones quite happy with the lane he's in, I'm pretty sure. Or the lane he's been running most of the race. Yep, that's where the choose cone is. That would make sense. Everybody scatters to choose what lane they want to go in. Dominic gonna move up some places because of it. With Mythic Noob. But re-rack them, refresh things, and get back underway. And take a bite of some food while we're at it, folks. Still got 40-ish laps in this championship race left. And it's far from over. Only our second caution, our longest green flag run, too. Flag about to go back in the air, though. We're back underway and we're crashing! We're crashing! It is 6th and 7th place with no losses in Green Bay Pickers. The two involved. Pickers for the second time in a row involved in another crash, and I don't know what's happened there between the Mafia, but Temper's flaring under caution. Well, we know who Pickers thinks was at fault. He thinks Mafia was at fault. And that does not surprise me because I think he felt like Mafia just either got a bad launch from what it looked like from what we saw, the tail end of it, or, well, this is loading. Oh, there we go. We fixed it. Either Mafia got a bad launch or Mafia hit him before everyone got back going and it caused things to stack up. Third caution. Rack him once again and get going. Short caution period, but Owens and Dominic the front row. Back to the green we go. And not the best restarts for Dom, but they keep it clean this time on the restarts. Dom trying to cut in front of Mythic. And not the best of moves right there because you don't want to upset someone who's a championship contender and have him move you out of the way to get to the front runners. And here we go. Dominic trying to pressurize Little Gamer, who is a championship contender as well. We spoke about championship contenders just a second ago and how Dominic cut him off, but now side by side there was a little contact off of 4 and into 1. He's going to try the slider, go up, and gets the move done for now. But now it's 3 wide. It's 3 wide in the backstretch, and they are banging off one another just a little bit. No severe contact. But the draft has got them followed close up to Bones, and that was Dominic sliding. Mythic trying to stick his nose in there, and he is going up the track, and so is Nitto Gamer. And now here comes Dominic on the inside to take revenge. Oh, hold on, 3 wide. How about maybe Racing, who was last the longest time, sticking his way back up there to get to P3, and now Mythic and Dominic, I think, just trading blows now. They were racing side by side, and there's more contact. And I don't think this is going to end between these two. I know we were speaking about Green Bay and Mafia having issues, but I don't think they're the only ones right now with the way this race is going. But it's maybe in Green Bay racing for P3. And right now it's Green Bay Pickers having to fallen behind the 3 car. Bones still leading, but the 18 car gonna have a look on the inside line. Look at this. We're our race lead. We have a race on our hands. Past halfway and about to get to the 3/4 point. Here he is. Little Gamer going for it. Side by side. Door to door. Drag race into 3. Little Gamer on the inside line, excelling ahead. He'll try to pull the slider and try to excel on the inside line. Bones will arc the corner and try to find the best exit speed possible, but he's now down to 2nd place because of the draft, and Little Gamer leading the championship. We've had, I want to say, these two just trading spots for the championship lead the entire time, but one of the other guys who are good on ovals, maybe Racing, is now right there. It's become a 3-way fight for the championship. And by the way, just moments ago, no losses. Disconnected from this race. I don't know if it was intentional or if it was accidental, where he felt like he had no pace and disconnected, or just disconnected due to Wi-Fi or other reasons. But our first DNF of the event. His season comes crashing down and ending not the way he would have wanted it. He had an all-star win. He won the Daytona 500, also breaking a nice win streak. So at least Mafia had a win in a season. Like I said earlier too, he just barely missed the Final 4. So considering it's not been the best of seasons, at least it's over with now, and he can recharge and rest for next season. But now, about to get to lap 69 of the event, and Bones being pressurized by the 3 car. Like I said, was that 18 going to move him for the race lead? Well, they've raced each other cleanly thus far, and I think besides Bones giving him the bumper, which was a little questionable, I don't think he meant to, but it was a little questionable. I think it's been clean from the two who's traded blows to the championship lead and the race lead itself. Now you've got the 3 car of maybe Racing following behind and waiting in the wings for something to happen between these two here. If he can do so in the best timely manner after clawing his way back into the field after 2 crashes from what was, P2 or the race lead at the time? I don't remember. It was so long ago. This would be a really good comeback story for this race, and just feel it closing in. 70 laps of this race now about to be done, and the field is getting sprung out once again. Our long green flag runs are coming alive. Only had the 3 cautions, like I said, but these guys know how to keep it clean, it seems like. That I can't deny. Still, Dominic holds the fastest lap of this race, using the 30.35. So when he was fast at the very beginning, they can't seem to match it, but your race leader doing constant 30.5s, 30.6s, just run consistent lap times. That momentum that Nitto's had in this race, same with Bones really as well, that's what you got to feel good about. But if you're the 3 car here, you've been dying to get in this position, just right behind the leaders. Let them 2 mess with each other and then take advantage. But Bones is not close enough to start messing with Nitto again, and I don't think he'd want to literally do that, because he will end up being the one being bumped out of the lead this time. let's change to game cameras here just so we can, or sorry, replay cameras. Therefore, we can get an overall point of view on everybody. I don't think we need to toggle gamer tags. I think we know everyone's name by now. Last lap from the race leader, 30.57. Let's check everybody's fastest lap on the ticker. This is fastest lap overall or just recent lap run? This is recent lap run. So this is good to know that Bones, behind the race leader getting that draft, is doing really well in that lap time. Move made for 5th. We can just get to that. That'd be great. Oh, crash. That's why. That's why there's a move for 5th. And it is Dominic. Dominic is still on the front stretch, and now he's going while the leaders are into 3. I think Mythic was involved in that one, and Garrett, who has really had problems throughout the season, I think is having more. He's disconnected a lot this season. It would be a feel-good story for him to win it, but now the 3 championship contenders who are up front are the 3 championship contenders. Trading blows the race lead, and now who's going to trade spots for the top spot? Right now the 18 car holds it, and now it's side by side for second with Bones and the 3 car, and Bones down the inside. Bones hung it on the left rear, now they're making contact side by side, leaning on each other's door right here. And this lap will go to the 18, the 3 car again. I was speaking about him earlier, saying just wait for Bones to mess with him, or vice versa, and it's happening. Bones giving him the bumper. Now the 3 car going to take advantage of Bones. Bones couldn't protect that much longer because now the 3 car is there, and now that he's got the opportunity to come back at the front of the field, he's going to take every bit of it. Side by side there, we're going to switch to their point of view instead of looking at 18 car the entire time, because we got an actual battle on our hands for second place. Bones has the outside line for turn 1, inside line for the 3. Both Fords here. The only 2 Fords in the championship, and right now it looks like it's going to go Toyota's way. I haven't spoke a lot about the manufacturer game, but these 2, both Fords, like I said. And Bones, oh, he almost caught him off right there and got turned. And this is not good for guy in 6th, Dominic. Can't believe I'm saying this for the first time in this race, but if this green flag stretch keeps going and he does not find any bit of pace, and there's no cautions, he could be getting lapped. Yeah, look at the lap time difference, 32.1. He's hoping for a caution. Only had 3 yellow flags come out in this race, but with 20-ish laps remaining, you've got to make everything you can with it. And it's a 4-car race at the front of the field. And between the championship contenders, it's a 3-car battle. And Bones is the one who's fallen off. I mean, I don't think he's going to lead the most laps this time around. I think it's going to be Nitro. Almost a Nitro Gamer. It's Nitto Gamer, excuse me. Who looks like he's going to lead the most laps. But let's find out. We've only got 20 laps remaining to decide the Season 5 championship. And as we know, it's going to go to someone new. But is it going to be Toyota's Nitto Gamer, who has had a sneaky quiet season? Consistency's been key for him. A lot of top 3 finishes, only 2 wins. Broke that winless streak. And what perfect time to win a 3rd race of the season now. And the battle for 2nd place continues with Bones and maybe racing the guy who's had a record-breaking season in terms of wins. Broke the record for that. 7 wins, 11 podiums, the most. 6 poles. He's had raw pace. And he's won 4 of the last 6. So you want to speak about momentum? Well, he's got it. And as for Bones, well, I can't say his car has been the best. I can't say his car has been the worst. And he's been up and down, but he's really not been outside that top 3. He's been a race-long contender. 1 win this season. Came at Homestead in the spring race. 6 podiums, 1 pole, and there's contact. And they almost wrecked right there, Bones and the 3-car did of maybe. But this battling is just going to continue hindering them trying to catch the race leader. But as I said about Bones, he won the spring race here, 4 consecutive podiums, 2 wins here, but those wins only have come when he's led the most laps. And he's not led the most laps tonight based on what we've seen. Let's go to some more race info, see if we can find anything. Oh, 3-car wide, and 3-car is almost into the wall, but he's losing 2 spots in the process. That is not good, and it's a 1.4 second gap for Nitto Gamer now because of that. There we go. We'll go to timer intervals now instead. Oopsies. But yeah, I think if maybe had a chance to maybe catch our race leader, that would have been it. And I think he's just lost the time there, which is unfortunate. Had a 4-car battle at 1.4 race lead, and now look where we're at. Got a 3-car battle for second instead of the race lead, and 18 cars pulling away. Trying to mess with the fly. Okay. Get off of this. Okay. I have just messed with the telemetry and I did not mean to. Oopsies. But either way. Can I get the telemetry back here? Is it going to let me get it back here? The full telemetry? No, it's not. Okay. I'm messing with buttons, which I don't even know about. I'm sorry, guys. I think there's less than like 10 or 12 laps to go. I'm sorry. There we go. Okay, we got it fixed. I was right. 12-ish laps to go. And Nitto Gamer's doing all he needs to win the championship. But we've got a caution. We have got a caution, and I can't see the track map as to why, but that is the one thing I don't think he was wanting. And I say this because he had a sizable gap, and I'm going to think that Dominic either spun again, or it was Mythic this time, and it's been brought down to 2-car cautions because of it. Because Mafia is no longer in the race. Loop data. There we go. Let's check the last laps from our race leaders, because that will tell us who's doing what and who caused the caution. It was Mythic Noob, who is Garrett. That makes sense. 30.6 from our race leader the last lap. Let's see who is running fast laps there. Okay, so Bones and Pickers, oh, I just keep saying Pickers, is Green Bay, have kind of had the upper edge on their pace. But watch out for Mythic Noob because of the season momentum. For the last 6 races he's won the Indy Oval. He's been good at ovals. Sorry, that's maybe. But watch out for him though, even though he was logging fast laps. And now the 71 car Garrett's back in the race. I was gonna say, watch out for him because this could be the final restart. Green flag back underway. And we'll watch from his point of view. Just look at the mess up in front of him. 5 cars under a blanket right there for the race lead, and they're all scattering now. And look at this. It's about to be the middle line. The 3 cars trying to go. I think that's the 3 car. I think it is the 3 car. And why not? You've won the most races this season. You need to do something to win this championship. Why not pounce now? Just under 12 laps to go. Oh, Dominic almost squeezed a 71 car of Garrett into the wall, and now Garrett's going to throw a slider. Garrett has to throw a slider if he wants to have any pace advantage to catch up to these guys. Like I said, he's won twice this season. But this will be the time it matters most, and now all 6 of our runners, with just about 10 laps remaining, right here for the race lead, leaning, bouncing on each other. Get back to the race lead here. Look at this. The giraffe gonna play a big factor here into turn 1. 3 car made a dive to the inside, took the top spot, or sorry, second spot back, excuse me. The top spot is still Nitto Gamers, who's led the most laps this race. Oh, contact. And somehow, really good save from the 43 car there. That was impressive from Green Bay, I must say. I don't know how he saved it, but battling for the lead, you can see the lap time difference. Last lap prior to this, 30.9. This lap, 30.7. And he's fallen all the way back to last place. Plumb last. Bones right there. Second to last spot right now. He's been in the top 3 the majority of this race. He is not liking this right now. He's not liking that caution came out because he would be finishing the championship second. But now, that's not the case. He's finishing the championship last of our championship runners with just less than 10 laps remaining. Mythic Noob, who's 4th as well. Garrett, who's won 2 races this season. Got 3 poles, the second most of our Final 4 contenders. He's back in the thick of things, like we were speaking about earlier, him being further back. But the one who was further back from most of them was MB Racing. And the guy who probably deserves this championship the most based on the way he's ran this season. 7 wins, but like we said, he was literally no man's land, half a lap behind throughout the 40-plus green flag lap stretch, and guess what? He's in it with a chance to win it. Everyone just single file, but still close to one another in each other's draft. Little Gamer, who's led the most laps, looking to be winning our 3rd race of the season, and one that's going to matter the most because right now he's Mr. Consistency. 10 podiums this season. Who wins? Here's Dominic, about to take over 2nd place over the 3 car of Maybe Racing. Pulls a little slider, crossover now from Maybe. Maybe needing a lot of momentum and a lot of speed to catch back up to our race leader. I don't know if he'll get there, but he at least needs 2nd place compared to where Dominic is trying to take that from him. And just to make it clear, I'm not trying to give any bias toward Dominic with what I said earlier with him cutting in front of the championship, one of the championship contenders, and doing what he did earlier, but you do have to race championship contenders with respect. He's doing that. He's also got a position to fight for himself. And remember, a championship contender, you know, in this race last season, Dominic, who won the championship, in fact, all he had to do was finish 2nd. So, we've seen championship contenders not even win this race, and running up the track, there's Dominic. Dominic in the wall, and that was contact with Mythic. Mythic got down the inside and ran him out of road, but I don't think he meant to run him in the wall. But I think what Mythic was trying to say here is, it's time to go. It's crunch time. Less than 5 laps to go. This time by. And now our championship contenders, because of Dominic and Garrett's contact, as Garrett makes more contact with the wall, are now running 1, 2, 3, 4, and I don't think they will be for much longer because Garrett has some cars behind him pressurizing him. Green Bay, the all-time win leader. Dominic, the champion from last season. Looks like it may be just a 3-car race, but now a 2-car race with it being between Maybe and Nitto. But Nitto Gamer has just pulled away from the race lead for quite a bit now. And once he battled Bones and after he got punted by Bones in the rear, it's been smooth sailing since. He took the race lead and has not looked back. Oh, hold on, we need to go to 6th place because there's contact right there between Dominic and Green Bay, and like I said, they were having some bit of blows early in the race, and a little bit more contact again, banging on the straightaway. But if you're going to get a caution, this is exactly where it's going to come from, and similar to Phoenix, Christian Eckes and Hocevar, look at that little contact there, but they remain straight. Good save there from the 43-car Green Bay Pickers. Mythic falling back, probably out of it unless there's a caution. Bones hoping Maybe Racing catches the race leader and they come to collision. Maybe Racing gonna have to put in the 3 hardest laps of his life here in the final 2 laps now as we come to the line. You can tell he's pushing because he's right up against the wall. At this point, you might need a Kyle Larson line it. An ultimate lap now. And really, no more chance for a caution, but Bones wants 2nd place here in the championship. Bones bumping him and moving him. And but it needs to note this is for second place in the championship, and that it's really over for them, and they're just hoping Nitto Gamer has a last lap blunder here. Crossover from maybe racing, but now contact. Bones almost up and over, and this is going to be a caution before the white flag. Or is it? Becomes the question. It will be a caution before the white flag. And that was a very controversial collision between them that will be looked at for seasons to come in a championship that will see one final restart. Can you believe it? And they're having to go backwards. For those of you not aware, they're having to go backwards because can't have a one-lap dash, or if we do have a one-lap dash, they already crossed the line to get the white flag, but the caution came out before the white flag came out, which I'm thinking this might be a one-lap shootout. Or if it's not a one-lap shootout, it'll be a two-lap shootout. But Nitto Gamer, who is about to see the white flag right there, up until 3-car of maybe racing and Bones both wrecked. Look, I'm not suggesting it's intentional, but there's going to be people who do. And that's why I say it's going to be controversial at that. Definitely a very controversial ending, considering the fact that this has caused one last restart, and it will be a 2-lap shootout from these guys. Oh, don't think he meant to do that, but they're just trying to get back to the choose cone here. That's not the most recent contact Bones has had for sure. So, not that they're worrying about it, but yeah, Nitto Gamer was about to take the white flag right there. Bones and maybe Racing, which was going to be second place in the championship, came together, and fourth place is Garrett, who's had disconnecting problems, is in the catbird seat here. That's for sure. I can't believe that. I mean, if Bones sat here and made an aggressive dive for what is 1.6, 1.2, whatever it was, seconds back from the race lead right there, and wanted second so badly in the championship, Nitto Gamer might have some questions he's going to be asking, I can tell you that. But I'm not going to suggest it was intentional. I mean, some people will. I'm not going to do that as a commentator being biased, but I am going to say, though, it did look bad. It did look bad. And some people will suggest it's intentional because that's how league racing goes. And if you look at it, it's on stream from a good point of view, too, funny enough. So, yeah. Let's just go over what you're going to need to win the championship and let alone final restarts here. Everyone's just trying to figure out the order, I think. But, you know, restarts are chaotic, so make passes quick. Well, it's only going to be a 2-lap shootout. You got to make passes quick. But avoid wrecks and stack-ups. You don't want to be in the wrong line on restarts, and you don't want to be wrecking like you just saw right there, because they're going to have to go, I think, to the back of the field, the 3 and the 6 will. So they're going to have to do it from there and get by the 2 guys who are not in championship contention, the 4 of Dominic and the 43 of Green Bay. Whereas I said avoid wrecks and stack-ups, well, that all starts by the choose cone. Low line versus high line. What line do you want to restart in? What's going to be the case there? You know, I don't know. I think these guys are just having a lengthy discussion or caution. But Bones is not happy with maybe. So we do know that. We've got some drivers not happy, but you just saw 2 drivers who crumbled under pressure. And Bones said he's mad because he chopped me and I moved him. Well, did a little more than moved him, Bones did. But I understand that because you're fighting for second in the championship. This is not just completely over and choose cone right here. Like I said, it all starts with starting in the right line. Low line versus high line. What's going to be the one you want on a restart? Here are the drivers choosing the restart line. Like I said, no crumbling under the pressure. Be in the correct line. Like I said, all that starts in the choose cone, and we're about to see a final restart here. 18 car who's led the most laps, who's been Mr. Consistent throughout the season, broke a 27 race drought. He's going to possibly win a 3rd race of the season when it matters most. The 71 car, Garrett, has had disconnecting problems and is second in the championship. This would be a feel-good story, and a Cinderella story at that. And the 2 who wrecked there to cause the caution, 5th and 6th, green flag back underway, overtime. Little Gamer gets a really decent restart, but further on back, they are racing side by side for 5th and 6th place. And now Bones is trying to make the most of it on a late restart, pushing and shoving Dominic up the racetrack. The 71 car also getting shoved around. So is the 3 car trying to make moves on the outside, but they need to make it to the white flag. The 71 car gonna put the bumper to the 18. 18 gonna get moved. The 3 car in the wall hard, but not going to matter for him. The guy who's been dominant this season, falling behind, white flag out. 1 lap to go in the championship race. Toyota versus Ford, and the 2 Toyotas are 1-2 with the 18 and 71, who both have had 2 wins this season, racing the 3 for the final time. One last dive. Does the 71 try it here? He tried it. He put the bumper there. But it's going to be a side-by-side race up before the 71 hits the wall. The 18, who broke a 27 race drought this season, is going to win the championship. Mr. Consistent 10 podiums makes it 11. He is the Season 5 MMCS champion, Nitto Gamer. He wins it. And the guy who led the most laps ends up winning once again in Homestead. And the 71 of Garrett, who would have been a Cinderella feel-good story, comes up just short. Man, you gotta feel for him though, because he's had so many disconnections this season. 3 poles, 2 wins, 8 podiums, and he had the championship right in front of him. And he went for it. You can't tell me he didn't try there in the last lap, but man, he put a hell of an effort. 3 car of Maybe, who had a record-breaking season, has it crumble when it comes to the final 4, and gave it his all too. Bones, who's won at Homestead before, 1 win, 6 podiums, stood on pole for this race, had some good speed in the short run, didn't pay off on the last restart. That was a nice little race though, 4 to 5 cautions, 100 lap race, you know, lots of green flag runs. But Nitto Gamer is the Season 5 MMCS champion. And Toyota do it. It happens with the race winner also being the champion this season compared to last season. Well then. Nitto Gamer, 2 wins this season, 10 podiums to this race. He won the championship with 0 poles. And compared to his championship rivals, that's the least of them. He was Mr. Consistent in the race. He's had decently good showings in ovals, and it showed tonight. He had strong pace at Spring Homestead. He led the most laps tonight, and he won the championship. So the championship final 4 end up like this. Nitto Gamer won it. Garrett came home on track P2. I don't know who was P3 to P6, but I do know Bones was 3rd in the championship after all. And maybe Racing, who dominated the season, record-breaking season for him, couldn't do it. And it sucks for him because he had best possible way to make a really upset work out perfect. He went from being half a lap down, needing a caution, getting a yellow flag, coming back, and being within striking distance, and then he would have finished 2nd in the championship, but him and Bones wrecked one another, and we know what happened. So that'll be it for Season 5 MMCS with the championship finale. Nitto Gamer 05 is the Season 5 champion. Toyota do it. And he led the most laps, so rightfully deserved. He did the right thing there in terms of showing he deserved it. I mean, all 4 of these guys deserved it in their own way. Maybe throughout the whole season, Bones throughout how he runs at this track, Garrett throughout the pure pace, but not as many results. Nitto Gamer based on the consistency without the wins, and I already spoke about maybe Gamer as to why he did, but the guy who led the most laps though in this race and had the most consistency all season won the championship. That is it for tonight's event in Homestead. 100 laps, an hour long. Fair play. Well then. Well, I'm gonna hop on out of here. Thank you to all the members of MMCS a part of this race, let alone Bones and the owners for inviting me here to commentate tonight on a one-off. Maybe I'll get the Daytona 500 for you guys, but we'll find out what happens next time in the MMCS series or season 6. But season 5 goes to Nitto Gamer, and we've had 4 different championships throughout 5 seasons. We'll find out if we can make it a 5th throughout season 6, or if we have a repeat champion once again. Yep, thank you to those guys though behind the scenes and whatnot, who allowed me to commentate here tonight. And what a great season these guys had. They're going to be thankful for their season in a good or bad way, either ending off in a bad way but having good things to talk about it or good results to talk about it, whatever it may be. But yeah, I'm gonna hop on out of here. I'm your commentator, Ryan Searles, and with that being said, enjoy, stay safe for those of you out there listening, have a good one, and I will see everybody the next time that I'm commentating, or the next time you see me overall. Thank you for giving me an opportunity, Bones, owners, members, drivers, and maybe we can do this again sometime. I appreciated it. I loved the race. It was a very clean race from the drivers, even with a short field. Sometimes it gets chaotic, but glad to see it was good. But anyways, I'm signing off. Good night, and we'll see you for Season 6 of MMCS.